Hi, everybody. I am that gal. I'm Lorianne. I'm from Milton, Ontario, and I am with.
I am that guy. I'm Roy Miller from Dallas, Texas, and this is how we see it. And today we have a really special person with us. Her name is Terri Jones. She's got a lot of accomplishments. Uh, but today, what we'd really like for her to do is tell us about how she works with kids with Alexa. It's really an interesting story, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So,
Hello, hello, hello. I am Terri B. Jones coming to you live on today. And that is how I introduce myself anytime I go live. And I am here. Great to be here with Roy and Lorianne to share with you all about Amazon Alexa skills and the role that it plays when it comes to kids. And so, what I wanted to share with you is like, I actually, since I was 13 years old, I've been teaching, kids in children's church. And also, I have two grandkids that I have been teaching them about how to develop an Alexa skill. And we've been doing videos on a weekly basis, sharing preview and review of Alexa skills for children. And so the way I got started, let's go back to 2018. Okay, I'm in the IT field. I've been in IT for 33 years, and of course we have monthly meetings, and at these monthly meetings, they normally would give away really cool techie gadgets. Okay, and so just so happened I actually won an Amazon Alexa Echo speaker. And so I'm like, oh, wow, how cool is that? So, of course, I took it home, and of course, the grandkids come over. And what do they do? They're going to tear it apart, figure out, what, just like, Alexa, what color is the sky? Alexa, what temperature is it? Alexa, how do you boil an egg? And so those are some of the things they would just ask, questions. And so then one day, I'm actually an author. And so one day I got an email from another author asking me to come on this webinar. It's like this webinar is about how you can get your book into voice technology. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I go on this webinar, and sure enough, what are they talking about? Using Alexa to get my content on it. And I'm like, oh, wow. And so anyway, we went ahead and it was an online course that we went through that taught you how to develop skills. Very simple, straightforward. I really loved it, but because that platform was free, the guy who developed it, he ended up, he wasn't making any money, so he ended up shutting it down. And of course, there was another group that came along, and they, ended up getting involved with that group. And so, and pretty much I've developed up until this point 16 Alexa skills. And so when it comes to the kids, my grandkids, they're into cats and dogs, right? And so I'm like, okay, what kind of skill would you all, develop? And so they developed the skill. It's called cat or dog life. And so what you would do, you would ask, Alexa, about, cat life, and it will give you a cat fact, or dog life, and it'll give you a dog fact. And so that's one that they developed. And so because I love teaching, that's the thing that I just believe I was put on this earth to do. Okay. And so and then I love working with kids. Okay. So what a beautiful combination, right? And so what I ended up doing was, I had this Alexa, it was an Alexa skill that this lady in our group had developed teaching, it had some ballet music, right? And because my grandbaby wanted to take ballet classes, but she wasn't able to go to the classes because my daughter, schedule didn't permit it. Well, what she did, I went ahead on and enabled that ballet Alexa skill, and my granddaughter loved it. So she would every day, she would just, ask Alexa to bring up this skill, and she'd do her little ballet. And so I videotaped her and I sent it to the lady, and I'm like, hey, this skill, my granddaughter loves it, right? And so others in the group, they saw it and they just thought it was the cutest thing. And so just like, hey, would you have your granddaughter, to make an Alexa, a preview and review video, of my skills. And so from there, that's how we started making every Sunday when they would come over to visit, we will make these preview and review Alexa skill videos so that parents can know, some really cool things that kids can do, on this Alexa device, because there are skills where you can actually move around, like dance. You can learn about science, history. You can, learn about math. And so it's really, it was a really good concept that a lot of the developers were making. And so we were able to showcase those Alexa skills through video and upload them to YouTube. And so after that, I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? Because at the time, this is like the cutting edge, freshest, newest technology. And as far as I knew, I was the only one in Jacksonville that was actually, introduced to this technology. And because of it, I was actually had a booth that would normally cost $1,500, but they let me, actually have a booth for free because I was bringing this new technology, to the community. And so, so anyway, that I was able to do that. I was able also to go to a voice technology, the largest voice technology workshop that had over 5,000 people. It was a conference in New Jersey. And I got a free ticket to go to that because I was the only person in Jacksonville, Florida, that was, actually in that space. Okay. And so anyway, I got lots of, perks and stuff from that. Being able to make these videos and let the community know, hey, look, I'm teaching kids something new. And so, they were just all for it. And so from there, I'm like, okay, let me reach out to some people to kind of see, they would want me to bring this technology to their group of youth. And, this first lady I connected with, I called her, we had an appointment. We actually had a phone appointment, but for some reason, she had these kids with her and she was slapping one and popping another and, trying to eat and talk to me all at the same time. And I'm like, no, I'm going to put her on the back burner. Okay. And so then I ended up reaching out to another lady that I had met at an entrepreneur group. And so she has a STEM group where she has a summer camp. And so I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, I have this new technology that I would love to bring to your camp. And when she looked at it, she's like, oh, yes. She said, we would love to have you. Always looking for something new, right? And so it was a 5-week camp. And I went to each Wednesday on my day off. I was there for an hour, maybe 2 hours initially in the beginning, to try to only have 5 weeks, to actually develop the skill. And so the day before we were supposed to do a presentation is when my skill actually got approved and went live on Alexa. So I was so glad of that. But the thing that really, really kind of surprised me is that this group of youth that I was working with, they were middle schoolers, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And so when I introduced developing the skills to them, I asked them, what is it that you all believe that you are dealing with and you believe that other kids around the world are dealing with that you would like to develop an Alexa skill for? And so they said to my surprise, mental health. Okay.
Wow.
Yes. And so because of that, I kind of was shook a little bit, and that, but I didn't want them to know that like kind of threw me off guard, right? You know? And so I said, okay, let's explore this. Okay, so what is it that you guys are dealing with? And they said anger, stress, anxiety, and depression. And I'm like, what in the world are these kids? I mean, you know, that's causing these things. But we went through the whole concept. And in that actual skill, it talks about what anger is, what stress is, what depression, those types of things. And it also has something for you to do, an activity like, say, for instance, you feel yourself, you know, getting angry. You know, I have maybe like a 40-second music clip in there where you could dance or whatever. So it's really good concept that we put together in the 5 week. I'm like, you know, we pushed it, but, you know, thank God we were able to get it done, and we were able to showcase it, you know, to the parents, and they loved it.
So
And
I have
so,
just, sorry to interject for a minute, but I just have a question for these skills though. So for people who are not as aware of Alexa, like my mother has one, she's in her 80s and she loves it. She can call out, you know, the weather and such. And I have to watch it because there is one here. So if I say the two together, she'll start
right.
me. But there's certain skills that those have to be downloaded into your app though, don't they? Those skills?
Yeah, you just enable. Yeah, you just
Enable. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
choose them, enable them, and then they work with Alexa at that point. Okay.
That is
Just to
correct.
let
Yeah.
people know that it doesn't just come when you call it out. It does need to be enabled.
Yeah, it has to be enabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Because, you know, there was some situations in the beginning, people's like, oh, she's listening to me and all of that. And so the only way you got something, you know, for Alexa to talk back to you is because you asked her. And so that's what they wanted. They want permission based, you know, and not just having stuff show up, you know, on your device and you didn't ask for it. So that's very important. That's a good point there for sure.
Thank you.
And so basically after that, I actually had another lady that has a youth group in Savannah, which I'm only 2 hours from Savannah, a kidpreneur group. And she's like, hey, she's like, I would love for you to come, you know, to introduce Alexa skills to my kids. And so I went down there, and they wanted to develop an exercise skill. And so that's what we did with that group of kids. And so, you know, they loved it and everything. And so that's pretty much, you know, how I've introduced those things to, you know, the youth. And of course, because of the coronavirus, you know, this year, I actually had 3 different conferences and webinars I was supposed to do, but you know how they go. And actually I was at Kaiser University last year. I did a couple of workshops at Kaiser University to college students. And so I've been basically just trying to get the word out about it. And of course now, you know, they're on TV, they got commercials now. So, you know, people get more familiar, you know, with Alexa. And so, you know, when it comes to, you know, developing these skills, you know, you can actually earn money. You can actually earn money. If you have a skill, you know, that people are really interested in listening to on a regular basis, Alexa rewards you. There are several ways you can actually earn money, you know, from Alexa. And the easiest entry point, I'll put it like that, is by developing a flash briefing. And so that's one of the things that, you know, I do have an online course so that those who decide, you know what, I want to get into this space. You know, I'm a blogger, I'm a content creator, you know, I'm on Facebook, I'm putting things out there, I'm a coach, you know, I have these coaching tips that I give to my people. I have these, you know, 7-minute exercises or these motivational speeches that, you know, I share, you know, with those who I have influence with. And you just want to take that content to voice technology, the newest technology that there is. And that's where we are, you know, as a society. We're in the voice space. And so that's what that online course is for, because whether you choose to have me yourself or anybody else to develop an Alexa flash briefing for you or any type of Alexa skill, there are 17 different pieces of content that you have to have ready to be answered when you go on the developer portal to get your Alexa skill developed. And so that's what the course will help you to do, is to get that information ready. Because I'm a teacher, I'm a step-by-step person, and I don't like starting something and then I got some kind of little something thrown into the mix that's going to take me off. It was like, oh my gosh, I got to go do this now,
It's like tonight.
Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah.
I'm the very same way.
Yeah, and so so basically the benefit of this course, because it's like, like I say, I have a full-time job, so I'm doing this here in my spare time. I love IT. I've been in IT for 33 years. So if it's some new technology, I am learning it, and if I'm learning it, I'm going to teach it to you. And so that's how this course, by me having a teacher mindset, the course is actually step by step with the different things that you need to have up front. Okay. And so with your flash briefing, your content, of course, you can determine that you want your content to be available daily. You can have it available hourly. You can have it available weekly, however you choose to have that content, but you will need to get all that up together. And what I would do, if I'm going to be doing it, just say daily, I would like up in maybe a month in advance, go ahead on and get my content ready, or every 2 weeks or something like that, so that you can, keep your content fresh. Because if you don't have fresh content, then of course, they're not going to want to keep listening to the same thing unless it's something, that, resonates with them. And, so yeah, definitely that's what you can do.
Well, Terri, how can someone access your course?
Well, I actually have my course available at bit.ly /TBJ Alexa.
Okay. So
yes.
And other thing is, so how do people, so you've got, say, a daily flash briefing of recipes, tips, or whatever. So how do the people get those briefings? I mean, in other words, how does what you have get out to the people?
Well, it would be no different than if you were to create a website. Say you just now came online, you created a YouTube channel. However, whatever it is you're doing online, what do? You let people know. It's like, hey, I just, I just started my newsletter. I just started my YouTube channel. I just started my podcast. The same concept is basically marketing. It's just another marketing tool in voice. And so the same way you would email out people your video, it's like, hey, I just uploaded a new video. Hey, here's my flash briefing, I just created, because I actually have one on home safety tips where, you can learn about different ways how to be safe in your home. Okay. And then I have another one, financial success strategies, because my husband and we own an insurance agency. And so, if you have, a business, then you can get more awareness, of your business with a flash briefing, to where, like I said, I share, different things as far as like, what is whole life insurance? What is term insurance? What is the IUL? Because a lot of people are like, what is the IUL? Never heard of it. How you can use IUL versus a 529 plan for, for your kids to go to college. And so those are the type of things you can do with a flash briefing.
Okay.
Sorry, I just read that. How do they pop up though on Alexa? That's what I'm wondering. Like, it's a news flash or whatever, but how does that work? Does it just pop in between music?
Well, no. You actually you basically just ask Alexa, what's my news? Okay. And it'll give you your news for the day. Yeah.
So if I was interested in what you and Tom did a live on some insurance aspect or whatever, and so I could say, would I say, hey, how are Terri and Tom's, what's her tips and insurance today or whatever, or, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, so you have two different ways. When you do a flash briefing, basically, are you going to say, hey, Alexa, what's my news? Once you are chosen to have this, enabled, this flash briefing. Like say you have to enable uh, whatever content you want to hear from Alexa. So when you say, Alexa, what's my news for today? Or what's my flash briefing? You can say either way, either one of those things, whatever. It'll actually just go ahead and tell you, today's with home safety tips, here's today's, information. And so
Okay.
it'll just give you that information. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Lorianne. I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
how's all this.
I know Alexa's sister better than I know her at this time, yet I got Alexa first, but it was a lot easier to deal with her sister in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got them to talk to each other. That was really hard because one didn't want to know the other one.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little different now. But yeah, so so that's interesting because I don't the enabling is the part that I really haven't worked with mine.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look more into that. It may be why, Roy, I can't find her podcast. I can get it on the sister, but I just can't get it on Alexa. And yet it's all signed up with TuneIn and everything. I've got the Amazon, it's all signed in, iTunes, Amazon. But when I ask for it, it's not coming up on Alexa, but it does on her sister.
Well, I know how to do that.
See? And is that part of that course?
I know.
I think Lorianne and I are going to take your course, Terry.
Yeah. Just make sure that's part of it, though, okay?
Of course.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
It's been great having you with us, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Always enjoy talking to you because you just got so much to offer. But and we do want to bring you back, and we'll talk about the authoring and publishing at another time.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys had me on today.
Yeah,
I'm really glad that you made it. That's wonderful. Yeah. Really nice to meet you because I'm telling you, Roy has a lot of great things to say about you. So
yeah. Well, you two guys have got so much in common. It's unreal.
Yeah,
you really do.
Definitely need to find out more about what Lorianne does.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay, so I know that you have somewhere else to go, so I really appreciate your time with us. Seriously, Terry. So I am that gal from Milton, Ontario.
And I'm that guy from Dallas, Texas.
And thank you again, Terry. And we will see you soon again.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Terry. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.